Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. And this morning, things are looking interesting. I have my regular market overview, which I'm going to start off with right now, and then we'll go to the TradingView platform. And I also have the chat window up there. I'm experimenting with this so that I can see your chat immediately. So, good morning, Hot Dog. Nice to see you here. I can respond to you right away. So I'm keeping an eye on the chat box as well, so we have better interaction online. And I would like to start off by saying that the stocks are fractionally higher ahead of open, continuing a week of cautious optimism. Investors are weighing U.S. Rates, with bets growing that the Fed may further ease policy following recent disappointing employment and inflation data. I'm also still looking at getting more information about a possible 30-year auction that happened yesterday. I'm not able to find credible news reports, but if there was an auction, I want to find out whether they got the necessary rates and how it performed. Now, in terms of global markets, Asian stocks were mixed overnight. Tokyo's Nikkei jumped nearly 2% on upbeat tariff news, while European stock exchanges opened quietly, but mostly positive. I personally feel that gold will possibly rally because there are some rumors about import duties on gold bars. I don't think Trump would ever put any duties or anything on gold bar. He loves gold. So it could just be a rumor, but if it were to become true, then I'm expecting that gold prices would rally. And bond market is still muted. Investor appetite for treasuries is uncertain after the 10-year bond auction went a little bit weaker than expected. Could be a potential warning sign. I made a video about that earlier. Hope you had checked it out. Of course, then we bring our attention to Fed policy. Like everything, the Fed also, instead of being a pristine institution the way it used to be, of course, when I say pristine, I mean that independent. Now the independence of the Fed is a little bit of a question, especially because, as always, Trump has appointed a temporary governor to replace the one who resigned. So at this point of time, if you look at the administration, there are a lot of temporary appointees who serve at the whim of the president, and these have to be approved by the Senate. That has not happened. And if you remember, in New Jersey, Alina Habba, her 6 months are over, but she's refusing to go, and Trump is not accepting the new replacement. So things are looking a bit murky overall. And now if you look at it from that prism, then Fed policy becomes a little bit suspect. Continued expectations of rate cuts are driving both equity and gold markets. As the economic calendar points to mounting inflation pressure from tariffs, the OECD just reported an uptick in inflation to 4.2% year on year for June, with the US July CPI due soon and a projected 2.8% year on year inflation expected. There's a heightened focus on whether rising import prices are seeping into core inflation. And against that, if you look at what Trump wants a rate cut. So a rate cut will fuel inflation further. So I'll make a slight distinction out here. When you have a tariff, it's going to be a price rise. I wouldn't call it an inflation. There is a subtle difference. Inflation is some rate of increase of price that happens over a base on an ongoing basis. Whereas this price hike is just an adjustment of the base itself, one shot. So the 10% or 15%, whatever is going to happen, that will come in. I won't consider that as an inflation. But because of the base increasing, the inflation is going to increase as a percentage. So that's the nuance that I would like to point out. Now, what does that mean? It means that the Fed is going to be still hawkish. That's the problem. They have a dual mandate. They want to take care of both the employment situation as well as the inflation situation. You increase the interest rates, then the inflation will come down, but enterprises will not be able to invest, and savings will increase and spending will reduce. Therefore, demand will decrease and unemployment will increase. So they are caught between a rock and a hard place, and that's what we call a stagflation. It has not manifested itself. Fed Powell is trying to avoid that. Because in the past, when stagflation came in, the only way to arrest that was by rising interest rates. And he's resisting that temptation, and Trump is pulling on the opposite direction. So that's the dynamics there. President Trump's tariff on global imports, especially bullion and select tech, are visibly reshaping market sectors and have driven some commodity prices higher. But this morning, when I saw gold, it was kind of coming down a little bit. So maybe it's just a rumor that we are looking at. Travel industry leaders like Expedia are reporting demand recovery after previous tariff-induced weakness, with shares soaring 70% in pre-market after a strong earnings report and positive full-year outlook. Other travel and leisure names are also in focus. This could also be redirected domestic travel that is increasing and replacing the international travel. We'll wait to get more information. I'll check it out and let you guys know about it. And then we have several S&P 500 and major NASDAQ-listed companies to report today. Consolidated Edison, Sun Life Financial, Microchip Technology. These are some of the few companies. Of course, we don't cover any of these things, but if they come up with upbeat, forward-looking projections, then that could definitely give a positive spin to the market. And analysts point to ongoing strength in high-income consumer spending, offset by caution among low-income segments. So it's kind of blunting the force of increased prices. In terms of macro themes and sector themes, tech and travel stocks remain leaders today, with chip makers and online travel agents rebounding. Gold, oil, and commodities are getting firmer, and caution persists. Equity valuations have rocketed to records. S&P 500 trades at 22.4x forward earnings, well above historical averages, raising caution about corrections, especially in seasonally weak August and September. If you, I have seen it in some channels where they go through data, which is a very nice exercise. I don't have the capability to do that, but in those charts, what I have seen is they have taken data for the previous years. They do a comparison like the second term of the president and what happened in August of the second term of each of the past presidents. And then they look at the trends for the 12 months of each year. And then they look at the current year. So if you look at it that way, August and September have been typically weak most of the time. So will it happen this time again? Well, past trends cannot dictate with certainty what will happen in the future, but it's a very nice metric to have. So from that perspective, it seems that with these high valuations, there's a possibility of things to give. And we'll see what happens when the market opens and things start rolling. It's a slow-moving target out there. It reminds me of when I play with my dog and I have a stick in my hand and I pretend to throw it in one way, the dog moves that way. And then I try to throw it the other way, the dog moves the other way, in anticipation of a trajectory that it thinks will be the best trajectory and that it can catch it. So the stock market is also doing the same thing. And you will see that when we go into the daily chart for S&P 500 futures and the indices, you will see how it is calibrating itself with every move in the truth social sphere and the geopolitical sphere, the tariff and other things. So I'll show that to you. And it's moving very imperceptibly. So even it is not sure where to go. And I think even Trump doesn't know what he's going to do the next day. But unfortunately, if he does something, because he's the president of the United States, everything moves in a gigantic scale and we get a seismic shift. So it's getting a little bit frustrating, but you know what? This is what life is and we have to manage. And there is US Fed speakers who are going to speak throughout the day that could move the markets. And Canada, my home front, right? The job data showed healthy gains. And that means that we are not going to get a rate cut. If we don't get a rate cut, our real estate sector is really suffering. So that's going to be a problem for us. But you know what? It is what it is. And China's inflation and PPI surprised on a higher side overnight, signaling continued cost pressures across supply chains. And yeah, that's what we have out there. Also, geopolitical realignment is taking place. After the 50% tariff on India, Brazil has reached out to the Indian Prime Minister. I don't know what they discussed, but it's a kind of move of solidarity. Both have 50% tariffs. For India, 25% has ticked in, 50, the remaining 25 comes in another 10 days or something like that. So India has sent its top NSA, National Security Authority chief, to Russia and making exemptions. President Putin met with Ajit Doval, who is the NSA chief, and also Indian Prime Minister Modi is expected to visit China, which is again a very big move. And President Putin is likely to visit India before the end of the year. Initial talks were that he was going to visit in end of August, but end of August is going to see Modi already committed to a visit in China. So those activities are also happening. So all of these realignment activities kind of indicate that maybe Trump is not going to get it very easy. Maybe a few countries have rolled over, but I don't think all of them are going to roll over. So that's what I think is happening. And yeah, I'm just going to respond to the comment section and join you back. So here we are. Now let's go on to the TradingView platform and look at S&P 500 futures. And what I'm going to do today is move to the one-day time frame out here. And since we are in the one-day time frame, let us look at S&P 500. This is what I was talking about. I was saying yesterday that we had a bad flag happening out here. And I said, this was the flagpole. We are already above 50% of the flagpole today, which means this is no longer a bear flag. This is something else. So out here, you will see that there's a gradual move up and down. Someday we open up and come down. Someday we move open down and come up. And constantly we were stopped by the resistance at 6,377. Today, we have broken out about that. This indicates that our dynamic line of resistance out here becomes more important. It's at 6,531.50. That's going to be the next resistance. And right now, we don't have the constraints of the bear flag, which means the deck is all clear for bullishness according to the chart. But when I look at the real life facts which are happening on the ground, it doesn't seem like that. So one has to be very careful. You'll see sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish, but momentum is pretty high. So I would like to see the volumes increase. The volumes are decent. They're not too high like they were when the stock dropped, but the volumes are also getting stronger and consistent. So I think maybe time to reduce the shorts. And sometimes I feel that that's exactly when the market will turn around, when you decide to, throw in your gloves and whatever you may say expression to say that you have given up. That's exactly when the market will turn after taking your last dime. So I'm seriously considering reducing my shorts on S&P 500 and the Mag 7. I'm already back into NVDA, Google, and Amazon, and it's doing well. So I'm going to be watching it very closely intraday to sell it at the sign of weakness. Next, we have NASDAQ. Same story with NASDAQ. And in fact, for NASDAQ, you have a resistance at 23,849.75. The bear flag is over. Now we are going in for something else. Again, sentiment is bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is still above average. This is a momentum-driven trade. Again, volumes are looking pretty decent out here, and they are improving with every passing day. So it's just building up. It's like a juggernaut. And then if you look at dollar index, dollar is strengthening back again, and we have resistance at $99.20. And we look at the 10-year yields, which are firming up 4.260. 20-year yield is also firming up 4.81. 30-year yield is also firming up 4.83, which basically means that people are not buying the bonds, and that money probably is going into commodities and potentially into AI and tech stocks, which are pulling the index up. So that's my assessment. If you think you have got some other assessment, please put that in the comment section so that I can also consider that perspective. Now, that said, let us go and have a look at gold. So this is the physical gold ETF from Goldman Sachs, and you can see it's up 0.84%. Now, let's go on and have a look at the indicators. in the indicators, S&P 500 today is going to have a resistance at around 6,370.24. Good morning, Inf. Good morning. And we have out here a resistance which is going to be today at 6,473.25. So if I was to go into the futures and look at S&P 500, it's at 6,388. So 6,388 would take it above this diagonal line of resistance. So I have marked this green. So this is going to be a support today, and our resistance today is going to be 6,475. We do not have any more bearish divergence and other things. Those are gone. And out here, I think we are breaking the bear flag pattern, and it's going to be something other than a bear flag. It's no longer bearish, and it's looking at breaking two levels, I would say. I would like to draw two levels out here. One, I would say, is break this level out here of 6,438. And the second is, if you break that, then go on the top and break the dynamic line of resistance, which happens to be at 6,468.22. These are the two possibilities. Likewise, for NASDAQ, we have this potential resistance out here at 23,604, failing which we have a resistance out here at around 23,927. Again, no more bearish divergence, no more bear flag. It's all looking pretty bullish, except for the sentiment of the market, which can change on a dime, and the MACD, which is almost ready to cross over the signal line and get into the bullish side. So it's very tricky. VIX is going down, which again is a positive for the stocks. Gold out here, the CFDs on gold is going down. It's down 0.37%. I have to figure out the divergence between physical gold ETF and CFDs, why there is this divergence which is happening. But I would think that given the overall situation and the uncertainties, gold should continue to keep on firming up and moving up. And if you were to zoom out a little bit, see, I have this perspective that I want to give you. Now, this is a bull flag, which is coming from here to here, the flagpole. And this, I think, is a bullish pennant more than a flag. It's a bullish pennant. And bullish pennants typically break out on the upside. And when they break out on the upside, they have as much gains as the length of the flagpole. So if I was to take this flagpole up, clone it, and bring it out here, and let us say it breaks out tomorrow or something like that, then I should see gold prices somewhere around 3,904. In the past, based on the reverse head and shoulder, we had a target of 3,719. So the future targets are only getting stronger and stronger. So I'm going to depend on the technical analysis. And I would say that based on what I feel about the economy in general, the technical analysis is supporting it, and gold should be doing well. I have ZGLD, and it's already in profits, and I'm holding on to it on the Canadian side. So I'm feeling good about this at this point of time. QQQ is indicating a positive open at a gain of 0.33%. That's also good. And we have a resistance here today, which is going to be at around 575.28. Right now, we're at 571.16. That's what we have out here. And gold never drops, but sometimes it goes sideways for a while. Yes. Gold drops, but it also drops when the dollar becomes strong and the stock market is strong. Gold drops, so don't think that it doesn't drop, but it kind of holds value, and it could go sideways and a little down for a long period of time. It jumps once significantly and then stays in that band and then jumps again. As more and more dollars are printed over a period of time, that's what happens, and gold finally goes up. So it stays higher longer. Its dynamic is a very slow moving dynamic, so you can't see perceptible changes. And so that's what I would say about gold. And I'm going into PCC, which is looking pretty bullish to me this morning. That's a big change. And having said that, if you look at XLP is starting to pick up. These are consumer staples. This is an indicator that people are getting defensive. So I would think I would take some confidence from XLP that and they are responding to the underlying situation. especially with the tariffs creating inflation. Maybe the demand will be less on discretionary items and more on consumer staples. But if you go to XLY, which is consumer discretionary, you also see a minor gain out here. It's kind of been going up, but today it's coming down. But if you look at XLP has been consistently going up for the last 2 days. So potentially there's a sentiment change probably happening out there, and people are moving out of XLY into XLP. That could indicate more support for gold going up, more support for stocks coming down. And the put call ratio shows that a lot of people have bought calls. That means they're possibly anticipating the prices to come down, I suppose. Anyway, let's go and have a look at AI and then go to genomics. So AI, NVDA is up again today, 0.68. And we have a resistance out here, which is at 183.51. So I'm planning to take profits when we reach the resistance. I didn't do that yesterday, and I lost that opportunity. So I'm going to take profits when we reach the resistance today and get out of it. And probably if it comes back down again, then I'll enter again. I think there is frequency trading is something I have to do. I have to buy and sell more often to make profits, because I have been in a state of paralysis for a long time. I have got to increase my profits that I have accrued so that my losses can be offset. And right now I did a quick check. My profits are way more than my losses. So I'm still the losses that I accumulated on MaxSun, which I have not yet realized. My realized profits are way more than that. So I'm really happy this morning with that. Meta is up 0.27. It's creating a bullish flag out here. If you see from here, we had a huge gap up. So I would call this as a bull flag or a bullish pennant in the formation. And we have got plenty of candles out here right now. So I'm thinking it's going to go up if it breaks out. And then we have Google, which is up 0.46. Slow and steady does it for Google. And it broke out of this bull flag yesterday, in my opinion. I'm just going to expand this and show it to you so that you can see the big flag that we created yesterday. So we came out of this bull flag, and I'm thinking that we'll continue moving upwards now. If we close above this bull flag today, it will confirm this diagonal line of support on the top of the bull flag. And then I think we are moving upwards. So for that movement, I would like to come back here and look at the flagpole and project potential target. So I'll say this is my flagpole, and I'll pull it out here, and let me get right here. So I have a potential target of 221.60 for Google, and in terms of percentages, that would be somewhere around 12%, right? It sounds improbable, but that's what the chart is telling me. I may be wrong or I may be right, but I'm going to leave it out there so that it's a learning lesson for me going forward. I'm looking at Amazon. It is up 0.30%, and it has got this diagonal line of resistance, which is going to be today at somewhere around 225.78. Yesterday also we hit the resistance and came back down, and we'll see what happens when the market opens today. We are opening above the open of yesterday, so that's a positive. Next, let us look at Apple, which is up 0.45%. I think Tim Cook did a great thing by going to the White House. He read Trump perfectly and he played him like a fiddle. Everything is hunky-dory. Now, we are going to open above yesterday's open. So the challenge to a resistance, which is going to be today at around 222.84, is on the cards. Excellent. Microsoft is up 0.18%. I'm thinking Microsoft has got to continue coming down. We had a gap up out here, which is kind of filled up almost, but I think it's going to come down because sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is dropping. There's a slight up in the morning, but I think it's maybe amateur traders or something. Let's hope and hope and see what happens. My personal hope is that Microsoft goes down, because in my calculation, it has had a huge run and a huge gap up, and it has to consolidate. The RSI was overbought, and now I think it's going to do the consolidation. Then we have Tesla, which is down 0.33. I still have TSLQ. I'm waiting to see that get into profits. TSLQ is down 7% in my portfolio. I'm waiting for that to be filled up. But I'm thinking that with a class action suit against Tesla, which alleges security fraud, claiming false statement about its autonomous driving tech from April 19, 2023 to June 22, 2025, raising safety concerns, it is hitting the courts, and we'll have to see what happens with that. And the other aspect is also that there's a huge lot of stocks with Elon Musk. And as the midterm approaches, there might be a possibility that he might sell something to prop up a third party or to prop up rebel candidates. So those possibilities are always there. So I'm bearish on Tesla. I'm also bearish on Tesla because the Chinese automakers are doing a great job, and they're expanding internationally, and their quality is also pretty excellent, and they are now innovating. And Tesla still has got all the models that are looking the same. We have a rumor about a new model coming out within a month or something. At least I read about that. But with Tesla, seeing is believing. I would like to see what happens when it comes into the market. With that said, let's go on to Oracle, which is up again 0.44%. And we have AMD, which is up 1.64%. I'm very keen to short AMD, and I'm looking at the all-time high that it has out here. Let me draw that all-time high out here, which is going to be at 182.06. There are targets for AMD to hit 190 and 200. Barclays target is 200, and Piper Sandler has a target of 190. So that is the range in which they are looking at. But this is the big resistance that it has to cross. So as soon as we cross this resistance, I'm going to be starting to look at opportunities to short it. The sentiment is still bullish, even though MACD is bearish. Momentum is still moving up, and there is plenty of room on the RSI. So today I'm thinking that our resistance is 181.90. SMCI is up 0.60% today. It is forming the bear flag. I'll watch this for a few more candles before making any decisions. Broadcom is up 0.53% today. Support is going to be at 291.69. And I think we had this bear flag potential, which did not materialize. So we are going up further, and we'll see what happens when the market opens and all the different players start showing their sentiments out there. Palantir is going gangbusters, 1.10% gain. I regret not having bought Palantir. There's a huge gap up out here, but the stock looks pretty strong. Sentiment is bullish and increasing. MACD is also bullish. RSI is very overbought, and that's the thing that concerns me. But with geopolitical tensions rising and tariff and trade wars rising, I think Palantir may get even more government contracts, and the defense budget is higher. The border patrol or the ICE budget is much higher. Homeland security budget is much higher. There will be a lot of use cases in which Palantir can be deployed. And I suspect that that's what is driving the strength of Palantir, and their revenues are going to keep going up. And and Tempus AI is a notable mention today. It's up 9.14% after it reported its earnings, and its revenues went higher than expected. I don't know if our friend Hot Dog has still got Tempus. The last time I heard, he had sold it. But if he had Tempus, I think he's making a good deal of money. Right now, pre-market, we are at 64.13. And our support is going to be this horizontal line of support, which happens to be at around 59.39. So that's about it. And I would like to go and have a quick look at Rigetti. Rigetti is up 1.09%, still riding this diagonal line of support. So as long as it keeps on riding the line of support, I'm happy with it. Now, let's go on to have a look at genomics. Hot Dog is saying the biggest question on my Horizon, if ChatGPT is valued at 500 billion, would I buy the IPO in the current economy? Oh, yes, that's a very big question. I didn't even think about it. I read an article sometime back. I think it was an opinion piece which said open AI at 500 billion, and still we can't buy a stock in it. We can't invest in it. So that lends me to uh, reflect over other happenings that have taken place. Many private equity companies are gobbling up genomic companies, and smaller companies like Bluebird Bio was gone. And I suspect something similar could happen to maybe Caribou Biosciences and smaller companies in our biotech sector. So, private equity is doing way better. They have a lot of money, and especially with the US tax policy being the way it is, the rich are getting super rich. And we are also looking at the first trillionaire to come in. So when that happens, you can imagine either promoters will have higher stake, like Tesla. Elon Musk has a huge stake out there that way, or you could expect them to do private equity buyouts and hold companies within private equity. So those things are happening. So you know what, OpenAI will never even come out as a stock, because what is the compulsion for them? If they get AGI, they don't need anybody. They are the king, right? They will take over the world. So that's what I'm thinking, Hot Dog. I would like to hear from you guys, what you guys think about it. Now, let's look at Prime. Prime is up 1.09%. Intelia is up 1.22%. Support continues to be at 11.34. Caribou Biosciences is up 2.76%. Beam Therapeutics is up 1.68%. This is amazing. It's got support at 17.5, resistance at 19.12. Altimmune is flat, continues moving around this diagonal line of support. Editas is got no trade before the pre-market opening, and we have this diagonal line of support on which it is traveling. This is a stupid bear flag. It's going to break down below this, and this will take us significantly down. I have no way to short Editas. I just operate with ETFs for shorting. We don't have that. Illumina is up 0.44. I'm still waiting for it to hit this diagonal line of support before buying a little bit of Illumina. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.39%. We have a bearish pennant forming out here. Bearish pennants usually break down on the downside. But right now, whatever positive we can get in the morning, we'll take it, and we'll say that our resistance today is going to be somewhere around 59.81. Allogene is up 1.90%. Grail is up 0.06%. It is still finding support out here. And if it breaks down below this, then we have a problem. Then probably the next support, very strong support, will be at 29.65. So that's what I'm seeing here. And then I would look at PACB, which is up 14.29%. Good Lord, what is happening with PACB? It has broken above this diagonal line of resistance for today, which happens to be at 1.44. We are exactly at 1.44. Pacific Bios Q2 revenue hits 39.77 million, up 10.4% year over year. Adjusted EPS was negative 0.13, beating estimates. Stock rose 8.3% to 1.37. In fact, it's gone way above that right now. So you can see 18.13% EPS beat and 8.61% revenue beat. And it reported yesterday after hours. So there you have it. And I would like to short PACB because with this kind of a gain, there's going to be a lot of profit taking, but I don't have any instruments to short it other than probably, go through the options market. Let me check that out, how I can do it. And I'll let you know if I do something in that area. ARCG is up 2.75%. Vertex is up 0.80%. This is a bull flag, which has to break out on the upside, my friends. That's what I'm looking at. But that got broken down, and we came down here. And right now, all those bullishness that we had out there overnight changed into high level of pessimism. And we have a incredibly long bear flag out here, which goes all the way from there to all the way down here. So if there's a breakdown that happens, then you can imagine it's going to be a huge fall. So Vertex is something I would be very careful about, stay very far away from. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 3.49%. Yesterday, I bit the bullet and bought a little bit of Ginkgo Bioworks just for the kicks. I bought 100 shares. I'm going to see what happens later on today. I'm still hoping that it's going to go and touch this target, or at least move in the direction of 19.20. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm thinking of this as a bull flag in the making. So that's my logic behind it. Then you have Unicure, which has got no trades pre-market. IMTX has got no trades pre-market. Precision is up 1.60%. I still hold Precision. My purchase price is 1.93. So I'm waiting for the FDA approval for that therapy. I rate the chances of an approval at 83% based on everything I have studied. So there you go. That's what I have. Another stock to watch is Eli Lilly. It has dropped significantly. And I think it is due for a dead cat bounce. It's easy to play that because Lilly is also in the Canadian registry side. So I'm going to see if I can buy a little bit of Lilly on the Canadian deposit registry side with the hope of riding the way back up again. Unfortunately, they do not have pre-market trades, so I'll have to wait for the market to open. And since volumes are low, it's a little difficult to get the stock at the right price. So there's that problem out there, even whether you're buying or selling. That's what happens out there. Novo Nordisk has got that bounce that I was anticipating, the dead cat bounce, and it's moving up further to 50.91. I think the resistance for it is going to be somewhere in the vicinity of, let me move this up here, and I would say resistance is at 55.47. That said, Hot Dog is saying, could you please look at APLD? Okay, APLD, let's see. APLD. Applied Digital Corporation. It should be in the AI section, so I put it in the wrong place. But interesting. Let me think about this. Sentiment is bullish. MACD is bullish, trending towards the signal line. A potential change in sentiment. Momentum is still high, but dropping. Pre-market, we are down. 2 days ago, the executives sold shares. Please bear with me while I try to do a little bit of analysis, get a lay of the land. Okay. So I have this parallel channel out here. I'm just going to adjust this for maximum number spots to hit. Okay, so I'll assume that this is the parallel channel. So I think that we would have support around 12.70. And if we look at this formation, it would potentially look like a reverse head and shoulder, except for this section out here, which means that it has not yet been triggered. Because if this was the reverse head and shoulder, then I'm looking at a neckline that should go beyond this. And if that happens, I'm just thinking out loud out here, my friends. then it could go all the way up to 24.56. But the thing is, the reverse head and shoulder has not been triggered yet. It has not been triggered yet. So I think all I can say for today is that it will have a support at 12.6 and it will have a resistance at 15.61. So I'm going to take this out of here and I'm going to put it into the AI side. And we'll check it out the next 2 or 3 days and see where it's moving. So hot dog, that's what I got to say about it. Oh, you also think the same? Great, great, great. So I think we'll be cautious with this. There is plenty of room on the RSI. MACD is still very bullish. Everything is evolving in the right direction. So for today, at least, if I was to buy APLD, I will try to be careful to be ready to sell it when it hits the resistance out there. If it breaks through the resistance, then it triggers the reverse head and shoulder. And then it has a probability, not the certainty, probability of reaching 24.67. So that's about it, my friends. That's what I have for the day. And thanks for your participation. Thanks for all the questions and answers and all those things. If you got any advice for me for today, please put that in the comment section so that I can also benefit from you guys and your wisdom, because you are also making money out there, friends, and do share your thoughts. And that, my friends, I'd like to end this video here. And yeah, one request for you guys, those who are interested in developing this channel, please give me your feedback on the kind of videos that I'm making of late. Do you like those kind of videos? Do you see continuous improvement in the quality of production and everything? Just let me know what you like and what you don't like so that I can do more of what you like and reduce the things that you don't like. Please feel free. And you can write to me on my email as well, raj@sharetrek.ca. So, sorry, sharetrek.com. And that should be good. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye for now. Thank you, Hot Dog. Yes, the chat has to be more free-flowing. I agree. The chat has to be more free-flowing. And now that I have put the chat box out there, I don't have to be skipping between windows and worrying about what window OBS is broadcasting. You know, that was a big worry. I didn't want the wrong window to be shown because my trading account is also open at times while I'm streaming. So yeah, I hear it. It has to be more natural. Everything has to be natural. And you know what, as a new content creator, I'm not that new now. It's 3 years since I started YouTube. But being comfortable in front of the camera, having the discipline to get the script and other things ready, you know, all of those things, they're all falling into place slowly. And I feel good. And thanks for all your support. Our channel is growing. We are seeing an uptick in the number of subscribers. So thank you very much for your patience, indulgence, and support, and for educating me. Bye for now, my friends. Have a great day. See you.